I am back from NAMM, excited to be home doing all the things that I normally would be doing. But the conversation you're about to see was while I was still in California, and it was a conversation I had with the guys who work at Roli. What it basically comes down to is, I'm still getting comments being called a sellout. And while I don't like to spend my time dwelling on like negative comments and things like that, I feel like there's enough speculation, and the way the situation looks, I totally understand. But I just wanted to bring clarity to the situation about why I started with this video, and now I've all of a sudden created a bunch of other videos with Roli products. So check out this conversation I had with the guys at Roli, and let me know what you think. What's going on, everybody? I am sitting here in the Roli house at NAMM, which is really cool. And I'm sitting here with two people from Roli. So do you guys want to just introduce yourselves really quick?
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Danny. I am Roli's United States Sales Manager. And
my name's Ruben. I'm a product specialist.
And I just want to have a talk with these guys because I was thinking about doing this video on my own, but I think it might also be cool to have like with these guys in the room and to hear the company's perspective. But the bottom line is, you guys all know that the first Roli blocks video that I did was about me going to see the blocks and being like, no, I'm not going to buy them and maybe you should pass on them. But then like, as I got to know the products, like I actually reached out to Roli and was like, hey, you guys like made all these changes, basically that I was talking about in my videos. I'll gladly take another look. And then I start getting like comment after comment, like sell out, sell out, sell out. Like, you're the worst, you're bought by the company. And
haters,
like,
bro.
It's all the haters, but and I don't think people like understand like the progress that like Roli has made and how it seems to me like you guys really care about your community. Can you guys like talk about like what community is like all about like for Roli? Like you guys have made so many improvements to the hardware and the software that's like you guys are clearly listening.
Well, first of all, like, I don't know. I feel like when people picture companies, they picture like the company. Yeah. Like the man, like the people at Roli. And the people at Roli are like the people at Roli. Yeah. Like I literally start every single day at work, and I like Ruben laughs every time I send him a video. I start every single day at work by opening up YouTube and searching. I search Roli, I search Seaboard, I search Blocks, Lightpad, and I literally just watch like 8-year-olds unboxing videos of our product. There's this one out there where the kid almost cuts his hand off with a knife. I'm like, oh my god, our products are killing people. No, but like I start off every single day by watching to see what people are doing with the products, what people think about the products, because that's genuinely important to us. You know, we want to see what people think, what people like. And like obviously when I saw your first video, I was like, oh no, you didn't love it, and that's like that's fine because that means what we do is we take what you said in your video in the next meeting we have where we talk about what the product's going to be and what shape it's going to take and how we can improve it. That's the subject of that meeting. Right. Like how we can make our products better for the people who use them. Yeah. You know, like Roli's mission is basically to enable people to have more joy making music and for more people to get to enjoy making music. Yeah. And the only way we can do that is to like put like the people who are actually creating with our products at the heart of like what happens. And we try as hard as we can to make that the case. Yeah, and I'm feeling that because, like, as a performer, like, so many more features are getting added. You know, overdub, Ableton Link. Like, you guys are clearly not operating in a vacuum. And, like, that's just, like, me as an artist. But, like, Ruben, like, can you talk about, like, the improvements, like, as an artist? Even though, you work for Roli, you're still an artist, you know? So, like, you obviously wouldn't be working and, like, you wouldn't have been able to do that dope demo without some of those improvements. Can you like talk about that trajectory?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the big things, right, is we're trying to do something that very few companies are trying to do or have been successful at doing, right, in terms of making one product family that can reach a whole bunch of different types of people, right? Whether you're some kid just starting to get into something, you know, someone who's thought their whole life, oh, if I would only practice, then I could be making music, you know, or all the way up into, you know, professionals in the studio, on stage, you know, developers, people who are hacking and putting things together. So that's tough, right? And we came out the gates basically saying that. Yeah. And it was hard, right? We've got a couple things that, you know, we were really trying to do this music, mobile music thing, right? Which is also a big deal, right? Because basically, if you look at a lot of other, you know, music apps, some of them are really powerful, but a lot of them are like kind of games, right? They're like, you know, a little bit shallow. And so, you know, there were a lot of things we were trying to tackle at once, and I think now it's really, we're at a point where, I'm starting to be able to integrate blocks into everything that I had been doing before I had known about Roli. I can see that that's definitely like where I'm going to be going in the future. Integrating with all the software, because people have workflows,
Right.
And you want to be able to fit into what other people are doing, right? You want to break down these barriers. You don't want to have to plug in this thing and, oh my God, how am I going to figure it out? I got to program it. I got to like learn, read the whole manual. You want things to be seamless, right? So whether you're using it with your phone and you're like on the train, or you're in the studio, or you're using it with Ableton or using it with GarageBand iOS, right? We're really building a lot of integrations and being able to use our sounds in multiple places. And there's still so much to come. I mean, we're at a huge place. I mean, a huge improvement from where we were last year. But I see exponential growth coming in the future, I hope.
Yeah. And it's like that special interest. When I think of Seaboard, I think of it as a really like professional level product. But now you're talking about things with the blocks, with like the Play app, and you guys wouldn't have created that, in my opinion, if you weren't like dedicated to all levels of like being a musician.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in a lot of ways, like that was kind of the missing step. Was the first step, right? Yeah, we had the Noise app. Noise is really great. Noise is obviously a lot simpler than using Ableton Live or Logic or something that's a more professional program. But still, if you know nothing about music making, if you've never had that experience before, you're still going to look at it and be like, oh, okay, how do I navigate here? What am I going to do? How do I start making a song? So really having that introduction, that first like fully gratifying, moment of, wow, I made something. I didn't think I was a musician. I didn't spend years or months practicing a technique before I could say that I made a song. I've just made a song. I can share it with my friends. I can edit it. I can think about how it's going to be. And then you can move on, right? And having this thing where you don't hit the ceiling, right? You're not just like playing, some game that's fun, and then you get to a point where you're like, okay, that was fun. Now, I'll move on to doing something else. You can take the same product, right? The Lightpad block, for example, or whatever it might be. Use it with Play, and then move on to using it with Noise. Move on to using it with GarageBand iOS, maybe if that's what you're more familiar with. Move on to using it with all your DAWs and everything, and then eventually customizing and building out your setup.
Yeah. At the same time, we have to be able to do all of that, and also at the same time be building out features that take people who want to move to the next level, the more professional level, like have them be just as satisfied, and have them have all the features out of our products that they can work with whatever other software they want, or our software, and use our software to go all the way.
Yeah.
Right.
In my work, we sort of classify that in like 3 categories, like of student level. So we have like exposure, engagement, and pathways. So now you've got Play, which is really like exposure, right?
Totally.
And what we talked about during the demo of Play was that so many people fall off learning any instrument in the first like week or month or 2 months because, ow, the guitar really hurts my hands and I don't feel like I'm getting better, and I'm playing Mare Had a Little Lamb, but nobody really cares about that. So like, let me give up. But the Play app totally takes that exposure level and says, wow, I made something awesome, and then can get them into the engagement level, which I see as like Noise. And then you have Pathways, which is totally integrating it with like a DAW, Logic, Ableton.
Absolutely.
Making
all the possible pathways.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, having that experience early on is such a big deal. I think just for, getting people to stick with whatever's happening. And also like, you're saying playing Mary Had a Little Lamb, right?
Yeah.
Or playing, Pachelbel's Canon or whatever it might be, right? Or Beethoven or whatever the first thing is that you're supposed to learn. Yeah. I mean, I love classical music. I love a lot of that stuff, but it's not necessarily the most accessible for people who are just, hearing music they like on the radio and wanting to engage with music making, right? Yeah. And so you could download, like, for example, the studio packs that we're putting out now, right? So you can get Happy by Pharrell, right? And get all of the individual instruments that are in that song, right? You can get the vocals, you can get the drums, you can get the bass, the electric piano. Or you could just play the groove kit and just hold down each layer of the song and make it happen, right? So it's really just trying to, like, allow so many ways, like, just create multiple ways for people to enter the system and start enjoying themselves.
And that is just why, like, I have such an appreciation now from where I was to now for Roli and for the products, because it's just been showed so much by your dedication to adding the Play app, by adding the new Lightpad Block M, the Seaboard block, which, like, for somebody on a budget, like a much more accessible version of the Seaboard. And then just the continuous added features and added support to the app and the hardware. And talks like this, like, I hope anybody watching this video can sort of understand, like, this is where I'm coming from when I'm making videos with these products. Like, when it's going like this and a company is listening to feedback, I remember one of the first comments on my video with the blocks was Roli, and I was like so surprised. I was like, Roli with this giant comment and response, like, yes, we acknowledge, yes, we know. And I was able to pin that, and it's like, wow, these people are listening. Like, these aren't. This is not like some executive sitting in a high office in a skyscraper somewhere who doesn't care.
Just us.
But that's where I'm coming from. Thank you guys for sitting and having this conversation.
Thanks for visiting us, man.
All right, really appreciate being here.
Thanks.